Federalist 64, Part 4. These are the last three paragraphs. So John Jay criticized the Anti-Federalists for them not having enough trust in all their representatives and senators. And he said that a little bit of distrust is okay, but a whole lot of it is going to ruin things for everybody. The affairs of the country are going to be held in the hands of people that in whose wisdom we trust. So don't be so distrustful. As all the states are equally represented in the Senate, and by men the most able and the most willing to promote the interests of their constituents, they will all have an equal degree of influence in that body, especially while they continue to be careful in appointing proper persons and to insist on their punctual attendance. In proportion as the United States assume a national form and a national character, so will the good of the whole be more and more an object of attention. In other words, as this union becomes stronger, as we get closer to one another, these different states, and they find that their interests is the same, then we'll be able to trust this body a little bit more. We trust this assembly a little bit more. And the government must be a weak one indeed, if it should forget that the good of the whole can only be promoted by advancing the good of each of the parts or members which compose the whole. It will not be in the power of the President and Senate to make any treaties by which they and their families and states will not be equally bound and affected with the rest of the community, and having no private interest distinct from that of the nation, they will be under no temptations to neglect the latter. We've talked about this before, remember? This is one of the really important things about a republic, is that whoever who makes the laws, that law is going to be applicable to them, their families, and all their loved ones. Because of that, they will make sure that the interest of the whole community will be attended to. It won't be just them when they are in office, because after they leave office, that law is going to apply to them and to their family. So they'll make sure that they do their job right, that they'll be virtuous, they'll think of the whole community. As to corruption, the case is not supposable. He must either have been very unfortunate in his intercourse with the world, or possess a heart very susceptible of such impressions, who can think it probable that the President and 2/3 of the Senate will ever be capable of such unworthy conduct. The idea is too gross and too invidious to be entertained. But in such a case, if it should even happen, the treaty so obtained from us would, like all other fraudulent contracts, be null and void by the laws of nations. With respect to their responsibility, it is difficult to conceive how it could be increased. Every consideration that can influence the human mind, such as honor, oaths, reputation, conscience, the love of country and family affections and attachments, affords security for their fidelity. In short, as the Constitution has taken the utmost care that they shall be men of talents and integrity, we have reason to be persuaded that the treaties they make will be as advantageous as all circumstances considered could be made. And so far as the fear of punishment and disgrace can operate, that motive to good behavior is amply afforded by the article on the subject of impeachments. So there are other parts that we'll be talking about. And I'll stop here.